Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new YouTube audiobook series for The Forbidden Truth. This is a sequel book to the first one, The Snake and the Rose. So if you have not read that, I would highly suggest going back. Link is in the description below. It's on a playlist. You can read all of the chapters right there. And I am Abby Davis, one of the main characters. Hello. And today we will be reading the prologue up till now. So, because this is the introduction, we're going to go ahead and get started with prologue up till now.
So here we are again, back on the road of chaos that has been started. Continuing on with this spontaneous journey that Abby and I have been enduring for the past 6 months. More of our story that is full of nasty tricks, dramatic events, powerful upgrades, and finally, a little bit of romance for a certain couple. But first, let me give you a little refresher since it's been a confusing time for all of us, including the airhead called Satan. First off, my name is Darius Stone, and I have spent the past 13 years as a demon because of accidentally making a deal with the devil himself. Within those years, I have been forced to be his dealmaker and roam the earth to each victim to trick them into bargains that always screwed them over. However, after all that torment, I was given a job transfer to be a protector demon. Now, with that, I was given a random child to protect instead of my own offspring. Yet, I came to find out that I was paired up with a random 20-year-old girl from Wisconsin named Abby Davis. She wasn't very fond of me at first as she was religious and believed the stereotype evil demons. The worst part of it being that she was able to see me within a span of a few hours without warning. Then, on the same day, we found out we could switch and control each other's bodies by simply touching. Despite the struggle, I was glad to have obtained that supernatural ability. After only 4 days together, I saved my protector child from her abusive ex-boyfriend Chad. Long story short, I overrode her body and took control of the situation. I broke up with that abuser while keeping her body protected. Another ability I somehow managed to do was called half and half, a fusion between her and I within her own body. However, we have only done that a few times since this partnership began, but I digress and need to get back on topic. After that boyfriend incident, she was so depressed and traumatized that she avoided her friends and in-school classes for weeks. Another reason for that was because she couldn't conceal the bruises upon her face no matter what makeup she used. It also didn't help that Satan kept abruptly intruding at random points to check up on this partnership her and I had. However, she eventually recovered, got back into the swing of things, and started continuing on with her life again. She taught me how to cosplay and semi-forced me to film videos for her to teach me how to act. Yet, the first time we did that, Satan summoned me while Abby was in my body while I was stuck within hers. She disappeared and I was stuck frantically trying to figure out what to do. After a couple minutes of trouble, I managed to teleport myself to hell and protect her from Satan's wrath. Yet because of her smart-mouthing before I was present, my body gained a choker with spikes and a pentagram dangling in the middle of it. Outraged by the events that took place, I started to yell at Satan about his stubbornness once he teleported us back to Earth. However, that episode was a one-way ticket for me being transformed into a woman by the evil bastard. After that, humans could suddenly see me as a girl rather than just Abby. Not to mention the fact that my protector child refused to cancel a friend meetup she had on that exact same day. So with that, I was forced to walk around as a female and experienced sexual harassment and violation. I refuse to go into detail about that. But after all of it, the drama wasn't over. For as we got home to her house, Satan summoned me down to hell again to torture me some more. But this time, Abby somehow managed to teleport to Satan's office and magically created a force field to protect us. Obviously, that baffled everyone, as Abby isn't supposed to have supernatural powers. She was human. But regardless of that, eventually she was able to teleport us back up to her cosplay room, where I gained 2 more powers: shapeshifting and muscular growth. Over time, I also gained a fire power that ran on my emotions like the muscle world did. However, I tried hiding that from Abby in order to keep her safe and calm around me. Yet, of course, like everything else, Satan ruins that for me and made me reveal it after torturing my protector child. Before that firepower kicked in, though, Satan forcefully created a demon body for her to use instead of mine. He restrained both of us so we couldn't move and used a spell to start that process. I watched helplessly as she cried for help and fainted from the amount of pain she endured. In addition to her new body, she also gained some sort of lightning power as she shocked the hell out of me from just one shock. Yet after all that stress, we managed to figure out how to get her back into her body once we were done examining her demon changes. So, to sum it up more, she had the ability to walk and live within both the demon world and human world. Despite all these troubles and tough times, we were still able to bond and grew our friendship. Speaking of relationships, during our time together, I made Abby realize that her close friend Damien had feelings for her based on the gestures and actions he displayed. Eventually, Damien asked her out on a date, and I helped them practically become a couple because of her nervousness. The night they started dating was both amazing and terrible, as Satan decided to punish me with controlling wrist cuffs that matched my collar. After a week went on with random controlling sessions Satan gifted me, I spontaneously grew another set of arms out of my body. I know, it sounds crazy, and it scared the shit out of me too when it first happened. I actually freaked out and spilled my emotions because of the sudden change. My protector child ended up comforting me about it and told me how she really felt. She saw me as another father to her, almost like how I saw her as a daughter to me. At her confession, I was so emotional that I was starting to cry. Everything I have been through with her made our bond stronger. She made me feel important and somewhat gave me a life again. She was an amazing girl who I was proud to be paired up with. But besides the point, as those emotions were flowing through me, my second pair of arms acted up and randomly grabbed her to pull her into a hug. So there, she was pinned to me, and I felt awful that my arms did that. Yet, as I thought she would reject it, she actually embraced me as well and said that she loved me. So here we are at this touching moment that I never thought I would have with her. And with that, the adventure continues as I begin my life with a new meaning and purpose. I may not know all the answers about myself or this partnership with Abby, but I know that eventually the truth will reveal itself and everything will change for the better. As we stood in our places, I couldn't help but allow myself to dwell within the moment. This bond that I have been trying to create for 6 months now with my human finally happened. All it took was me freaking out and exposing the most vulnerable side of myself. Am I very proud that I did that? Of course not. But I don't want to go back and change it. Without that reaction, she wouldn't be this close to me. We wouldn't be where we were. So I vowed, right then and there, to show my true emotions around Abby, to display I was still a being with feelings too. The hug between us lasted for quite a bit. I don't know if it was because of the arms keeping her from breaking it, or if she just wanted to stay within the embrace. Yet it still had to end at some point, and it did once my second pair of arms let go of her and retreated back into my body. It felt extremely weird, and I was a little uncomfortable with the thought of them just sitting within my body. However, there wasn't anything I could do about it. After all of that, I unwrapped my original arms and allowed her to step back to create space again. She did so as she was released and displayed a face of concern.
Are you okay now?
She asked. Yeah, I guess I am, I said, gesturing to my normal sides.
Oh, Darius, your shirt is wrecked.
I immediately peered down at my shirt to find holes ripped through the fabric where the extra limbs extended out. Regardless of my appearance, I wasn't that worried about it. It's honestly okay. It will fix itself. It always does. I'm not that worried about it.
Then what are you worried about?
I'm worried about what I'm becoming. I know you told me that I am not a monster, but yet stuff like this just doesn't happen on a dime. I am just a human, I said, realizing I screwed up my wording. I used to be human. None of this was a reality until I made that deal with Satan. Even afterwards, I didn't have any of these supernatural powers or abilities. Now that I'm protecting you, I'm going through these spontaneous changes without anyone explaining anything to me. Everything that I know about myself is one big giant secret, and I can't figure it out. I am scared of what I am turning into, I admitted.
Darius, it is exactly like you have said. You have never been in this position before, and you have every right to feel this way. You went from having no special abilities to being a protector demon who evolves. I am just as surprised as you are about the arms, but we are going to have to evolve with the changes as well. Learn more about them and embrace it as they are now becoming a part of you. I will be right here by your side, just like you have been for me. This isn't changing you as a person. It's changing your skills and experience that is abstruse. You will always be who you are, regardless of what happens.
After hearing her side of things, I felt a little better about myself. I mean, she couldn't really go anywhere, but she most certainly didn't have to accept me and my baggage. So I allowed myself to take her words to heart. Thank you for the kind words. But my biggest concern is the extra arms hurting you from the lack of control. I don't even know how they come out.
That's what practice is for. It's just like you have been telling me. You try summoning them on command.
I don't know where to even start. What am I gonna do? Say bibbidi bobbidi poof, these arms shall go boof? At that statement, she started laughing a little, but stopped quickly to refrain herself.
I'm sorry, but that was funny. No. Why don't you try thinking about using them or just having them protrude out? If the switching thing between us is like that, maybe it'll work like that. Or it could activate when your emotions are high. All you can do is try.
As much as I didn't want to admit it at the time, I knew she was right. What if for some reason it had the same activation as the switching power? I never really tried thinking about it with the fire or muscle growth, but that was subconscious thinking, and that wasn't as important to me for the time being. Regardless of that, I was still hesitant for her safety and protection, so I was gonna compromise with her to ensure she didn't get hurt. Fine. but you need to shield yourself first before I do anything.
Why would I need to do that if we are just experimenting with your arms?
She asked sharply. Because you and I both know that the demon world is unpredictable and anything can happen at this point. I would much rather have you encased within a force field rather than chance you getting injured. Now please do this for me. After my request, she lifted her left arm with our designated marking to display her force field. With her secluded from the potential danger, I started prepping myself mentally and physically for what I was about to try. I lifted my original arms up so that the bottom pair could extend out freely while I cleared my mind of worry and concern. Eventually, once I was ready, I thought about reversing the arms to have them show. I wanted them to gently extend out and lay at my sides, and thought hard about the action. And after about 20 seconds, they grew back out, forcing their way through my sides. The transition this time was less painful than the first. I assumed because the full body limbs were finally formed and developed within my skin or shirt. Despite that, the secondary pair of arms were out and proven to be controlled by thought. But I knew it wasn't going to be this easy to gain control over them.
See?
Abby said, bringing her force field down.
I think with enough practice, you could control your arms better in no time. You could do so many things now because of them.
Yeah, but I don't want Satan finding out about these either. If he does, he'll probably torture me some more because of my lack of knowledge.
Yeah, you're right,
she said defeatedly. Upon the realization, she somewhat hung her head down in shame, like she felt useless. My chest began to fill with sorrow, and I wanted to correct her expression. So I took my hand and placed it on her face to tilt her head up to me. Hey, you helped me with the arm thing, and I thank you for that. That was a good thought you had. I'll make sure to keep it in mind. This is on my end now. Thank you for helping me. Abby smiled after that statement, and I thought about my arms hiding themselves again. Repeating the action, they retracted back, and I was left with a normal body to control again. As everything reversed itself, we kind of moved on with our day. Obviously, it was hard for me to blow off the fact I just had a secondary pair of arms develop, yet my protector child was trying hard to distract me and keep my mind off things. She talked to me more than normal, asked for opinions on projects and cosplay ideas, and just interacted with me more in general. Unless she honestly changed this much as well. Could that one confession session we had alter our entire partnership? Well, I'm hoping so because it is currently on a better path than what it was. But I wouldn't know for sure until more time passes.
This has been Prologue up till now from the book The Forbidden Truth. Tune in to the next video for Chapter 1. Thank you for listening.